So they're just pulled in forward. They use the lines to turn us around backwards so we can get lifted out.
We've done this before. Once, twice, 100 times.
Alright, we are here in Guaymas, Marina Seca, Gabriel's yard. Pulled into this little slip here. They lined us around backwards, and after lunch we're gonna get lifted out.
Yeah.
Begin life on the hard.
Yeah, spend like a month or so and figure out where we're gonna get everything.
Yeah. There she is back there.
Yep, she's waiting to be hauled out right there.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna head on up into the office, check in with the guys there if they're not on lunch. I think the lift guys are on lunch till 1, so we'll get lifted out then.
Yep. Maybe find some food for
Bit
us.
of food, yeah. Time to begin the work and look for stuff.
Located on mainland Mexico, we had chosen Guaymas as the place to haul out and do some routine maintenance. This boatyard in particular was known for their very affordable haul out and monthly storage fees, while also allowing you to do your own work.
Well, we're about to get Varuna hauled out. She hasn't been hauled out in quite a while. Last time was a year and a half ago when we got our survey on her when we bought her. So if you want to check that out, be sure and check out the link right up here. We're just waiting for the guys to get back from lunch. They're actually going to get in the water and take a look where they're going to put the strap, because we have a really narrow spot between where our propeller and our rudder is. They got to make sure they have that in the right place.
With Varuna pulled into this little slip built up from the dirt and gravel around, it was hard to believe that these two tiny docks were going to support the travel lift and all the weight of Varuna. As we requested, one of the yard guys jumped in the water to make sure the rear strap was correctly positioned between our prop and rudder. Then it was up and away. It is quite an amazing and also a bit unsettling sight to see your home lifted in the air. The lift was only the beginning of the process. Then, Varuna went for a long, bumpy ride.
Just taking Varuna for a walk here.
Yep, she's complaining, too much water time. She wanted to go for a walk on hard land.
Wanted a little stroll.
Through one boatyard, across the street, and into another yard, swinging away and picking up some hooved followers along the way.
Home sweet home.
On your home. Time to get busy.
Beginning our long list of errands.
Settled into home on dry land. Before we got to work, we went to go check out town. We wanted to get an idea of what was available for hardware stores, supplies and paint. This meant lots and lots of walking around town, phone calls, and of course, sampling a bit of the local food.
Laundry day on the hard. We got the hose, we have fresh water to rinse our clothes or wash our clothes, which is really exciting.
Not drinkable water though.
Not drinkable water, but it's fine for laundry and to spray yourself down when you get hot up here doing laundry.
One of our projects while we're here is to see if we can repair our dinghy, or do we need to get a new one? We don't really want to get a new one, we love it, but we need to repair it. Unfortunately, when we used the polyester resin, which was all we had access to, it just wasn't good enough. And that's what supported all our bulkheads. That was all the bonding for the stiffeners and for the actual bulkheads, and that's just come apart. That polyester resin just hasn't worked well as a filleting substance that would really keep it in there. It has come off in the weather, so we need to do something about that. We're not sure how easy that's going to be, because obviously there's going to be a lot of grinding it back, sanding it back to even be able to apply epoxy to it, and then we're going to be using our good epoxy this time. So we're still thinking on that one. So we're debating what to do, how much work to do. Our key is to get on the water and be sailing, so we don't want to spend months or years in the yard doing stuff. There's always stuff to do. Right now we just want it to be seaworthy, so we're looking at redoing the bottom. It's actually, the bottom paint's actually not too bad. We want to give it a light sand, and then we're hoping to be able to put the same paint. We're looking for like a vinyl paint, which we can't find down here, so we're seeing if we can get it imported in, or if we need to do a drive up to the States to get some, and then we can just do a light vinyl coat on it, which is a hard paint. And our plan is not to haul out for the next 2 to 3 or 4 years even. We don't really want an ablative paint, although we could put an ablative on it and paint it nice and thick. We then can't come back to a hard paint afterwards without more thorough sanding back. This here is our speed log, our knot meter. Basically we have stopped using this since pretty early on. They get barnacle crusted up and stop working in a matter of days at an anchor or at a harbour. So we can, it'll still work if we can chip it off. I can pull it out and clean it up in some vinegar, and then it will work again. This is a plastic through hull here, I believe. I have to scratch it, but I'm pretty sure it's a plastic through hull. You can get them with bronze. We're actually thinking about removing this, possibly, and just filling the hole. You know what? As much as you might want the speed, one less through hull is actually much safer, I think. So that's something we could look at doing. We have also looked at putting in like a sonar fish finder type thing in there, so we could see the color of the bottom, which we don't have right now. That'd be a little bit more problematic. We'd have to remove our depth transducer on the other side, which from what it sounds like isn't an easy feat. And then on top of that is just getting all that to work with our electronics, because they're being older, so we'd have to find a system that would work with the older system we have on board, or replace it all, and we're not looking to replace all the electronics at all. So we don't really need it, right? Our key is, what do we really need, and let's get going. Everyone's different, and everyone has different thoughts on what is a need versus a want. Our needs are to get the boat painted, get back in the water.
Our initial plan was to do all of the work ourselves, but as Guaymas was known to be a very cheap place to get work done, we met with a few of the local workers about painting and gel coat repairs. Unfortunately, we quickly learned that even though the local labour was very affordable, in this boatyard in particular, the owner kept control of who worked in his yard, jacking up the price over 300% in order to take a very large commission. And that meant we would just have to figure out how to do it ourselves.
¿Necesita el fiberglass o solamente the filler?
No. Sí, este por seguro, for sure, is need a fiberglass.
Needs the fiberglass? Sí.
Sí. Y luego, al final, yelco.
trying to make the most of our time out of the water, and feeling a bit overwhelmed trying to tackle it all ourselves, we sat down to write a list.
We've gotten all of our running around town, checking stuff out, finding out what's available, stuff done, and it's finally time to buckle down and get to work today. So Ty's downstairs, he's starting to sand the bottom of the boat, and I'm just finally finishing up a mosquito net for our companionway. We got in here the first night and just got eaten alive by mosquitoes, which it's the first time we've been in an area where there are mosquitoes. Got some mosquito netting in town, and I've made a little cover up here. So at the fabric store in town, we got this netting. It was in the off-cut pile. It was 5 pesos for a bunch of the netting, and then have some scrap. This stuff is just some scrap denim. So use that as the trim to kind of weight it down on the edges. And then on the side here, we actually did get some metal rod we need to cut down. Right now we have a dowel on one side and then part of our pole spear on the other side. It just kind of slides in the hatch where the companionway shuts. And yeah, hopefully it works. Keep the bugs out. Fingers crossed, no more bug bites, because that's no fun. What you doing down there?
Getting dressed. Ready to finally stop procrastinating and sand.
Get to work. Put that suit on.
Yeah. Try and stay a little bit free of whatever the hell's in it, the copper or whatever other chemicals come out. And just stay a bit cleaner.
Nice and sweaty in your suit.
What size is this? I don't think I fit in it. Blue.
You're blue. Your face looks blue.
Does it?
Yeah.
Preparing the bottom was never going to be fun. But then again, doing something new always has an element of fun, right? A relatively easy task to lightly sand the old bottom paint before applying a new hard paint on top. Messy as all heck it sure was. Doing my best to stay safe and breathe in the least amount of toxic dust as possible was a hot, sweaty job that demanded afternoon naps. That's all for this time. Thanks as always for watching. Appreciate your support. Remember to give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And until next time, cheers.